Intelligence involves the ability to take part in acceptable and conceptual thinking. Intelligence includes appreciating the broad description and meaning of emotion and determining their similarities and differences. The development of emotion in young people is significant as it serves as a foundation for establishing harmonious social interaction. This states that it is important to have emotional intelligence because it will help not only to understand ourselves, but also to understand the emotions of others for us to establish a mature mindset in life. Intelligence is a master aptitude, a capacity that profoundly affects all other abilities, either facilitating or interfering with them. This refers to one's capacity to evaluate, recognize, manage, and evaluate emotions.
Peter Salovey and John D. Mayer in 1990 described emotional intelligence as the subset of social intelligence that involves the ability to monitor one's own and other feelings and emotions, to discriminate among them, and to use this information to guide one's thinking and action. Their description means, just like the first slide says, na ang emotional intelligence ay hindi lamang ang kakayahan na maintindihan ng sariling emosyon, kundi pati na rin maintindihan ng emosyon ng ibang tao. In the next slide, Goleman in 1995 states that emotional intelligence, not cognitive intelligence, guarantees success in life. He argues that people who are emotionally intelligent can be depicted as being number 1, adept in recognizing their own feelings or self-awareness, number 2, skilled in regulating their emotions or self-management, number 3, considerate of the emotional energies of other individuals or social awareness, and number 4, able to deal with the emotions of other people or social skills. These proficiencies are quantified in identifying the emotional quotient or EQ of a person. Emotional quotient measures the emotional intelligence of a person. And now, a brief history of emotional intelligence. In 1930s, American psychologist Edward Thorndike presented the notion of social intelligence as one's capacity to deal well with other individuals. In 1940s, David Wechsler, a leading American psychologist, stated that the emotional aspect of intelligence may be indispensable to one's success in life. In 1950s, ways by which individuals can develop emotional stamina were communicated by humanistic psychologists such as Abraham Maslow. In 1975, Howard Gardner, an American developmental psychologist, published The Shattered Mind, which presented the idea of multiple intelligence. In 1985, Wayne Payne initiated the use of the phrase emotional intelligence in his doctoral work titled A Study of Emotion, Developing Emotional Intelligence, Self-Integration Relating to Fear, Pain, and Desire. While in 1987, the phrase emotional quotient was thought to have first appeared in an article published in Mensa magazine authored by Keith Beasley, Israeli psychologist Reuven Bar-On, however, claims to have utilized the phrase in his unpublished graduate thesis. In 1990, a breakthrough article titled Emotional Intelligence was launched by Peter Salovey and John Mayer, who are both psychologists. The article was published in the journal Imagination, Cognition, and Personality. Lastly, in 1995, Daniel Goleman propagated the notion of emotional intelligence in his masterpiece, Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ.
Emotions and their plans. Emotions may be generally classified as positive and negative, although they come in varying intensities. Here are the various categories of intense feelings and their corresponding combination. First, anger, irritation, rage, ire, wrath, love, affection, passion, fondness, devotion, adoration, shame, embarrassment, dishonor, indignity, infamy, disgrace, fear, dread, horror, panic, alarm, distress, fright, enjoyment, delight, amusement, satisfaction, sadness, unhappiness, melancholy, dejection, desolation. Lastly, surprise, disbelief, marvel, incredulity. So, they are the varying intensities of emotion. For example, yung anger can range from mild irritation to intense rage. Also, love can be experienced as a gentle affection or as a passionate devotion. As for fear, it can be range from a slight unease to extreme panic. Though this classification of intense feelings provides a broad understanding of the different types of emotions that individuals may experience. Components of intense feelings or emotion. To have a full grasp of nature of intense feelings, it is essential to be aware of three elements. First, subjective component. The manner by which people personally and internally relate with emotion. So, nagre-refer siya to how individuals personally and internally relate to their emotions. So, nag-i-involve siya sa ating own perception, interpretation, and experience of the emotion. Second, psychological component. Bodily response to emotion. Emotions are not just experienced mentally or emotionally, but also have physical manifestation in the body, which is yung body natin is nagre-response sa emotions natin. For example na lang is kapag nakaka-experience tayo ng strong emotions, such as increased heart rate, sweating, changes in blood pressure. Third, expressive component, the way by which individuals respond to emotions. This means yung mga expressions natin, facial expressions, body language, vocal tone, and others non-verbal cues. For example, smiling, laughing, and having an energetic posture. These three components of emotions is important for our self-awareness, effective communication, managing well-being, and building social connections. It allows us to navigate the complexities of emotions more effectively and lead a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
The Well of Emotion. It was psychologist Robert Plutchik who introduced the famous Well of Emotion theory. This theory classifies 8 basic varying emotions: trust, fear, anger, joy, disgust, sadness, surprise, and anticipation. The wheel of emotion can be equated with the color wheel in which the primary colors are blended to produce the secondary and complementary hues. The fundamental emotions are fused and blended to generate a diverse set of feelings. To illustrate, agreements combined with happiness might produce optimism. The difference in who among equal to variation in emotional state. This explains the reason why the 8 primary emotions are located at the central loop of the wheel, with more produced agreements forming at the middle, more intense colors, and lighter agreements, forming at the extremities lighter color. For intensive fury is the intensive version of anger while irritation is the moderate version. Ang emotion wheel po ay isang uri ng visual aid na nagpapakita ng pagiging komplikado ng mga emosyon. Tinutulungan nito ang isang tao na makilala at magtabraw sa pamamagitan ng kanilang pag-unawa sa kanilang damdamin o ng ibang tao.
Emotions are how individuals deal with matters or situations they find personally significant. Emotions can play an important role in how you think and behave. These emotions you feel each day can compel you to take action and influence the decisions you make about your life, both large and small. But why exactly do we experience emotions? What role do they serve? So, ang emotion ay ang kung paano ka nagre-react or nagbe-behave tungkol sa isang bagay. According to Ekman, who developed the wheel of emotions, it would be very dangerous if we didn't have emotions. It would also be a very dull life because basically our emotions drive us: excitement, pleasure, and even anger. So with this statement, ano nga ba ang purpose ng emotion sa buhay natin? First, emotions drive people into action. When students are about to take an examination, they may experience anxiety as to whether they can answer the test and get good grades. Because of this emotional response, these young people will strive hard to study to pass the examination and get good grades. So dito, when students are about to take an examination, they may experience anxiety as to whether they can answer the test and get good grades. Yung nararamdaman mong emotion during that moment, yun yung nagpo-push sa'yo to take an action, which is striving hard to study para makapasa ka sa exam and get good grades. Some may also tend to take certain actions in order to experience positive emotions and minimize the probability of feeling negative emotions. For example, you might seek out social activities or hobbies that provide you with a sense of happiness, contentment, and excitement. On the other hand, you would probably avoid situations that might potentially lead to boredom, sadness, or anxiety. Emotions increase the likelihood that you will take an action. So kung galit ka, mataas yung probability na ikaw-confront mo yung source ng irritation mo. At kapag takot ka, mataas yung probability na you'll try to defend yourself or tatakbuhan mo yung situation mo. And when you feel love naman, you might seek out a partner. Second, emotions help people stay alive, flourish, and be safe. Charles Darwin posits that emotions are adaptations that make it possible for humans as well as animals to live and procreate. When individuals get emotional, they are likely to face the cause of such emotion. When panic is experienced, the stimulus is most likely avoided and people flee. And when people feel love, they aspire for togetherness. These intense feelings function as an adaptive part in the lives of people. They prompt people to behave as best as they can and take the necessary actions to ensure survival and maximize opportunities for success. So, Charles Darwin suggested that may vital role sa safety at survival ng isang tao ang emotional display or pag-express ng emotions in simple words. For example, naka-encounter ka ng pusa at nag-hiss siya sa'yo with her ears flattened and nagpo-puff up yung furs nila to look bigger. It's their emotion na galit or alert and it makes you feel scared, kaya lumayo ka sa pusa na yon. When you do that, you're ensuring your safety and survival. Emotions serve as an adaptive role by prompting you to act quickly and take actions that will maximize your chances of survival and success. Third, emotions aid people in decision-making. Decisions are not purely rational or logical. They are influenced by your emotions, biases, values, and goals. Emotions can affect how you perceive information, evaluate alternatives, and implement actions. They can also affect how you communicate and collaborate with others who are involved or affected by your decisions. Emotional intelligence can help you balance your emotions and reason and avoid common pitfalls such as impulsivity, procrastination, overconfidence, or confirmation bias. When making decisions, we often fall under a certain emotional impact. For example, gusto mong umorder ng food pero you are on a fixed budget. The first thing you'll consider is kung ano ang gusto mong kainin without taking into consideration yung budget mo. So dahil nga inuna mo yung emotion mo kung ano yung gusto mo, Sa huli, ikaw lang din yung mahihirapan kasi ubos na yung pera mo. But if you have high emotional intelligence, you can control your feelings before jumping into a decision without taking into consideration several factors. Another common example din nito is pag nag-judge ka na isang tao and you mentioned his or her insecurity without thinking twice if okay lang ba sa kanya na sinabi mo yun. Fourth, emotions provide creative expressions for people to convey how they feel inside or what they are going through. Through emotions, people are able to express what and how they feel inside. Feelings of happiness, excitement, fear, or sadness are readily made known to other people through emotions. When you interact with other people, it is important to give clues to help them understand how you are feeling. These cues might involve emotional expression through body language, such as various facial expressions connected with the particular emotions you are experiencing. In other cases, it might involve directly stating how you feel. When you tell friends or family members that you are feeling sad, happy, excited, or frightened, you are giving them important information that they can use to take action. Fifth, and the last, emotions serve as a tool to understand people. Just as your own emotions provide valuable information to others, the emotional expressions of those around you also give a wealth of social information. Social communication is an important part of your daily life and relationships, and being able to interpret and react to the emotions of others is essential. It allows you to respond appropriately and build deeper and more meaningful relationships with your friends, family, and loved ones. It also allows you to communicate effectively in a variety of social situations. Understanding the emotional displays of others gives us clear information about how we might need to respond in a particular situation.
Positive versus negative emotions. Generally, emotions may be classified into two, positive and negative. Positive emotions are feelings such as joy, love, and gratitude, which are typically pleasant and desirable. They can enhance well being, foster social connections, and motivate positive behavior. Negative emotions, on the other hand, include feelings like sadness, anger, and fear. While they are often uncomfortable, they play an important role in signaling threats, protecting us from harm, and guiding our actions. Both positive and negative emotions are natural parts of the human experience, and experiencing a range of emotions can contribute to a balanced emotional life. People tend to appreciate positive emotions while they seem to be wary of negative emotions. Admittedly, negative emotions are difficult to avoid. A lot of people can feel or experience them at any time. They may be difficult to deal with, but they should not make people's lives miserable. Becoming aware of emotions and learning to manage them helps people to be happy and successful in their lives. Why adolescents need high emotional intelligence. As everyone knows, the period of adolescence is the most tumultuous stage in terms of physical, cognitive, psychological, and social adjustments that teenagers go through. If these young people have an understanding of their own intense feelings and the capacity to manage them, they may be able to cope with the challenges during the transition stage. For instance, mood swings and bouts of anger can be controlled if emotional intelligence is enhanced.
In school, academic performance and intelligence quotient matter a lot. There are times true when adolescents who excel academically may not necessarily be adept socially. A high IQ may not be necessarily followed by skill in interpersonal relations. A lot of factors define success in life, and emotional intelligence is one indispensable with change, but are also able to assist other people to become efficient, competent, and eventually successful in life. People with high emotional cohesion have the ability to reduce their stress, improve their relationships with other people, and manage their life better, all of which lead to success and happiness. Emotional intelligence and performance in school. Based on research, emotional health is as necessary for effective learning to happen. A student can be successful in school if they fully understand the techniques and discovering things. A few of the important elements for this discovery and learning are self-esteem, self-discipline, communication skills, and cooperativeness. These characteristics comprise the ingredients of emotional intelligence. Smart and bright adolescents who feel confident and are at the same time innately driven are likely to have greater chance of achieving good grades in school. Teenagers who demonstrate high emotional intelligence are most likely able to achieve harmonious relationships not only with their parents but also with their mentors. This kind of good interaction with teachers and parents will inspire these young people to do well in class and achieve high grades. Further, young people who manifest high emotional intelligence experience very few conflicts with their friends. As a consequence, they may not get readily hooked into drugs or alcohol, as they are satisfied and happy with their lives. Having a good emotional cohesion, therefore, make it possible for young people to achieve smooth relations with their families and friends. Hence, they also obtain a good support system. So, if you have more solid emotional cohesion, that means you have more positive outcomes in terms of your intelligence. It does make a huge ground to oneself if you are happy and contented and don't have any negativeness in mind, thus your mind will work properly clear.
Emotional intelligence is one positive trait and treasured characteristic that a teenager can have. It can be enhanced by attending soft skills training, reading good books, and receiving guidance from parents and school authorities. Measuring emotional intelligence. American psychologist John Mayer once said, in regard to measuring emotional intelligence, I am a great believer that criterion report is the only adequate method to employ. Intelligence is an ability and is directly measured only by having people answer questions and evaluating the correctness of those answers. A criterion report in emotional intelligence typically refers to a structured assessment or evaluation of an individual's emotional intelligence skills based on specific criteria or standards. These reports often provide detailed feedback on various aspects of emotional intelligence, such as self awareness, self regulation, empathy, and social skills. Emotional intelligence is typically measured using standardized assessments or tests that evaluate a person's ability to recognize, understand, and manage their own emotions, as well as their ability to recognize and influence emotions of others. These assessments often include questions or tasks related to self awareness, self regulation, empathy, and social skills. Responses are then scored based on established criteria, and individuals receive feedback on their emotional intelligence competencies. These measures can provide valuable insights into an individual's emotional strengths and areas for improvement, helping them develop greater emotional intelligence over time. Cherry, 2015, enumerated a number of psychological tools that can measure emotional intelligence, and some of them are Reuven Bar On's EQI. Reuven Bar On's EQI, or Emotional Quotient Inventory, is a self-report assessment that measures emotional intelligence based on Bar On's model of emotional social intelligence. This model includes five main areas: intrapersonal, interpersonal, stress management, adaptability, and general mood. The EQI assesses a person's ability to perceive, understand, and manage their own emotions as well as their ability to perceive and understand the emotions of others. It also evaluates their ability to cope with stress and adapt to changing situations. The assessment of 133 items and provides scores on various subscales related to these areas as well as an overall EQ score. The EQI is used in various settings such as workplaces, schools, and clinical settings to help individuals understand their own emotional strength and areas for improvement. Multi-Factor Emotional Intelligence Scale (MELS). The Multi-Factor Emotional Intelligence Scale is a comprehensive tool designed to assess emotional intelligence across multiple factors or dimensions. Unlike some EI assessments that focus on a single overarching score, the MELS breaks down EI into distinct components, providing a more nuanced understanding of an individual's emotional competencies. The MELS typically includes factors such as perception, facilitation, understanding, and management of emotions, as well as emotional relations and utilization of emotions. By examining these specific facets, the MELS can offer insights into an individual's emotional strengths and areas for improvement in a more detailed manner compared to simpler EI assessments. This scale is often used in research and academic settings to study the complexities of emotional intelligence and its impact on various aspects of life, inducing relationships, work, and well-being. Its multifactorial approach allows for a more comprehensive and in-depth analysis of emotional intelligence, making it a valuable tool for understanding human emotions and behavior. Seligman Attributional Style Questionnaire (SASQ). The Seligman Attributional Style Questionnaire is also a psychological assessment tool designed to measure an individual's explanatory style, particularly in relation to how they attribute causes to events in their lives. Developed by psychologist Martin Seligman and his colleagues, the SASQ is based on Seligman's theory of learned helplessness and optimism. The questionnaire presents individuals with a series of hypothetical situations and asks them to explain the causes of these events. The responses are then analyzed to determine the individual's attributional style, which can be classified as optimistic, pessimistic, or somewhere in between. The SASQ used in research and clinical settings to assess an individual's attributional style, which can provide insights into their likelihood of experiencing depression, anxiety, or other psychological issues. It can also be used to measure the effectiveness of interventions aimed at changing attributional styles to promote more adaptive patterns of thinking. Emotional Competence Inventory (ECI). The Emotional Competence Inventory is a tool developed by Daniel Goleman and Richard Boyatzis to assess an individual's emotional intelligence competencies within the framework of Goleman's AI model. Unlike some other EI assessments that focus on self-reporting, the ECI includes both self-assessment and 360-degree feedback from peers, supervisors, and subordinates. The ECI measures a wide range of emotional competencies, including self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, relationship management, empathy, and emotional self-control. It provides a comprehensive assessment of an individual's strengths and areas for improvement in these areas, offering valuable insights for personal and professional development. The ECI is often used in organizational settings to enhance leadership development, team building, and employee training programs. Its multi-rater feedback approach helps individuals gain a more holistic view of their emotional competencies and how they are perceived by others, making it a powerful tool for enhancing emotional intelligence and interpersonal effectiveness.
Improving emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a combination of several different skills, and here are some tips on how to improve emotional intelligence. Number 1, beware of one's own emotion. By being conscious and cognizant of your own emotions, you get to Recognize how you react to specific situations. This is the first step whereby you reflect on the appropriateness of specific emotions displayed. Number 2, understand how others feel and why. Another key in improving emotional intelligence is the use of empathy. This is trying to put the self in the shoes of other people, understanding how and why they feel that way. This practice prevents you from being judgmental, biased, and prejudiced. Number 3, emotional reactions. In promoting goodwill among other people, it is advisable to learn how to manage emotional reactions. Before displaying emotions, it is best to think of how much emotion will impact others, and whether such emotion will bring forth adverse reaction and consequences that may cause eventual regret. It is safe to contain, delay, and manage negative emotions. And lastly, number 4, choose own moods. The choice to become happy rests on individuals. Moods and emotions can be redirected to a more positive angle, if so desired. The choice of improving one's emotional intelligence likewise depends on individuals. When it comes to happiness and success in life, EQ matters just as IQ. Learn how you can boost your emotional intelligence, build stronger relationships, and achieve your goals.
Managing Negative Emotions, Teens Health 2013, which is a part of the Kids Health family of websites that provides online health information, offers a set of guidelines on how to manage negative emotions. Step 1. Identify the emotion. Be aware of how you feel. Do not hide how you feel from yourself. Know why you feel the way you do. Do not blame anyone. Accept all your emotions as natural and understandable. Step 2. Take action. Think about the best way to express your emotion. Learn how to change your mood. Build positive emotions. Seek support and exercise. Step 3. Get help to cope with difficult emotions. Talk to a school counselor, parent, trusted adult, or therapist. Now, we move on dealing with sadness. No one is exempted from experiencing the blues from the time to time. There are ways to feel better though. Here are some useful tips to help combat sadness. Chill out, make a plan on what to do with the problem, focus on the positive, and talk it out. Now, managing anger. Bouts of anger sometimes get in the way of our everyday tasks. It always pays off to apply a problem-solving approach. Think ITCME, identify, think, consider, make, or evaluate. Here are some useful guidelines. Identify the problem or self-awareness. Think of potential solutions before responding, self-control. Consider consequences of each solution, think it through, make a decision, and evaluate your progress. Here are suggested ways on how to deal with or handle and avoid anger. Exercise, listen to music, write down one's thought and emotion, draw, scribble, or doodle, meditate or practice deep breathing, talk about your feelings with someone you trust, or distract yourself to do something else.
And that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for listening.